This is the second day of my long weekend in Michigan's Upper Peninsula in September of last year. Today I'm at Kennedy Lake, which is a 131-acre shallow lake in the middle of nowhere, Upper Peninsula. Interestingly enough, this lake is actually part of the Tacoma Falls unit. I ended up at this lake due to poor planning and a lot of wind, so I had no prior knowledge of what I was getting into. I had spent most of the day exploring two tracks and not enough time looking for a place to fish, and I ended up here as it was the closest place to fish and still get a few hours of paddling in before dark and the long drive home. I paddled to the north end of the lake from the launch and quickly got a follow on a white chatterbait from a good-sized pike. I set anchor and followed up with a couple of other baits, but I wasn't able to get the fish to come back out for another take.
I just had about a 30 to 35 inch pike follow.
After thoroughly working the cove and not getting a second follow, I paddled across the lake towards the southern end. The lack of weed cover continued, and I was able to see bottom most of the way. The lake didn't appear to get deeper than 2 to 3 feet, with one reasonably sized hole towards the middle that I went over. I found out later looking at DNR lake maps that similar to many other lakes in the UP, this one didn't go past 10 feet in depth. About halfway across the lake, it shallowed back up to 2 feet, and sparse reeds were popping up everywhere. I stopped to get a drink and try a couple of casts at the isolated clumps of reeds, but no such luck. As I got closer to the south shore, I started seeing small patches of lily pads tucked away into the little corners and coves close to the marshy bank. It was here that I started to get some activity, and I believe it was due to the shade created by the lily pads and what I believe were undercuts in the bank that led deeper into the surrounding marshland. After getting a few hits in an isolated cove, I rounded a corner and worked my way to the river mouth at the very southern end of the lake. If I was to fish this lake again, I think I would spend the bulk of my time here. When I got closer to the mouth of the river, I realized that what I had originally thought was a shore were some small islands acting as a barrier between the interior of the mouth and the rest of the lake. It went quite a ways back, and I was kicking myself for not making it over here earlier. With time winding down and the road calling my name, a switch flipped on and in a flurry the lake came to light.
Get in back, now!
The sun fell below the trees, and I couldn't resist giving the frog one more chance to shine. And just like that, after a hard day of driving and paddling, I had 2 good fish to show for it. I slowly worked my way back to the dock, not finding any more fish but reveling in the events of the day. I knew that I had a whole night of driving ahead of me, but all I could think about was coming back up north next year and finding new areas to explore. With the moon rising behind me, I loaded up the boat and began my journey first to the bridge and then home, all the while memories past and present playing in my head.